All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessed salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners that have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, just want to go into this song. You know, the elder brother, all right, Zahab. You know, he put us on. This weekend. While we was fellowshipping, and he put this song on by this guy, Buju Banton. This Benjamite. And if you familiar with the reggae, the Benjamin, how they get down. They talk about Babylon. They talk about particular, spiritual things. Now, a lot of them be off, with the Selassie, doctrine and that madness, but a lot of their songs are, are based, on spiritual things, and when I heard this one, it just made me think of a few precepts, I said I just respond to it real quick, and Lord willing, it's edifying. Now, I'm gonna play, the first, minute or so of the song, then just get some precepts, to bag it up, man, so, let me hit the. Seems like they have been wasted, eh? We know. Just goes on to show. Till I'm laid to rest. Yes, always be depressed. There's no life in the West. I know the East is the best. All the propaganda that spread, tongues will have to confess. He said, you know, there's no life in the West. He's speaking about how miserable life is in the West under this system, under this, the way of living, you know, this setup, especially as an Israelite man, because this system, this westernized society, all right, is geared to destroy and oppress the Israelite man above anything else on the earth, man. You know? So, Benjamin is complaining, man. He said ain't no life in the West. He said he know the East is the best, man, because that's where we're from. All right? The East, man. We're not from, all right, this side of the earth, and this way of living is not who we are, man. That's why our people are suffering under this setup, under this system, man. Let's get there real quick. You know, we come back to that. But when you go to Galatians chapter 4, you see, this Galatians chapter 4. All right, verse 26. It says, "But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all." Yeah, because Jerusalem, all right, that's our land. That's the land that nourished us, all right, into a great nation. You see, the land that took care of us as a mother and nourished us into a great nation, not only with, the substance, with the resources, which it was abundant in resources, but the standard that came with being in that land, all right, the ways of the East. Because when you look at a lot of Eastern cultures today, all right, that's really the residue of the law, statutes, and commandments that we had. Our people set that standard over there in their region. You see? And you still have residues of, the heathen mix their own thing into it, but for the most part, all right, that standard came from us, man. You see? It says, let's get another one. All right, because what do the scriptures say? What is the main thing? All right, promise, all right, to the elect, after, all right, we're gathered. When you go to Baruch chapter 2, all right, this is Baruch 2 and 30. It says, "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity they shall remember themselves." And see, that's what's happening in real time. All right, the elect are waking up, all right, throughout the earth, and the bulk of us are over here in this Western hemisphere, you know, under this, this Hellenized, within this Hellenized society. You see, but see, now we're remembering ourselves, and now all right, we're contrary, all right. Our spirits are very contrary to the way that this society runs, man. You know? And it says, and shall know that I am the Lord, that power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. And that's all right, what you see happen amongst the elect. All right, those names are being exalted and praised. You see, and he's giving us a spirit to be obedient. That's why we long, all right, to get out of this system, man, to see this place destroyed and a righteous kingdom being established, all right, the law, statutes, commandments being within us, man. You know, we thrive, you know, to be able to be obedient fully now, you know? And it says, um, verse 33 says, "In return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord, and will bring them again to and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them." All right. So one of the main promises, all right, is what? That Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is going to deliver us and bring us back. All right. Yahweh Shai is coming to get his people and bring them back, the elect of his people, that remnant. All right. He's there. They will be gathered in chairs and brought back to the east, back to Jerusalem, the mother of us all, man. We finna get the hell out of the west, man. All right. This society, all right, doesn't agree with who we are, man. You know, it's contrary. And even Yahweh Shai, when he prayed, he knew, all right, when they wake up in these conditions, he had to put them prayers up for us, man, because he knew we would wake up in these conditions, man. All right. This is St. John, all right, 17 and 14 says, "I have given them thy word, and the world have hated them because they are not of the world," and the world is this society, all right, "even as I am not of the world." Yeah, Yahweh Shah wasn't of that Roman, because it's a spirit that Yahweh Shah came in the peak of the Roman Empire ran by Edomites, which today we are within that deadly wound that was healed. You see, Yahweh Shah was in the he was living, you know, within the time of that Roman Empire, which is one of those heads, Then that head got wounded, all right, and it was healed, and we're right back in that captivity of that head that was wounded but is healed. We're living in the healed, all right, version of the Roman Empire, all right. The NATO, the EU, America, because that's the biggest influence in the earth, is that what you call the American hegemony, you know? So, Yahweh Shah, he wasn't of the world, just like he knew when we woke up to who we wasn't going to be of this society, man. You know? It says, "I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world," yeah, because we got to go through it, just like he had to go through it. It's part of the conditions of the battle. "But that thou shouldest keep them from evil. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world." You see? So we're not of this society. This way, all right, isn't for us, man. And you see Jake's spirit crying out. Play it again, let it play out, then get a couple more precepts.
Harmonize! Seems like they have been wasted, eh? Bueno. Just goes on to show. Till I'm laid to rest. Yes, always be depressed. There's no life in the west. I know the east is the best. All the propaganda that spread, tongues will have to confess. Oh, I'm in bondage, living is a mess. And I've got to rise up, alleviate the stress. No longer will I expose my weakness. Ego seek knowledge begins with humbleness. Work 7 to 7, yet me still penniless. For the food up on me table, master, God bless. All of the needy and shelterless. Ethiopia await all prince and princess. Till I'm laid to rest. Yes, always be depressed. There's no life in the West. I know the East is the best. Yes, propaganda that spread. Tongues will have to confess.
Yeah, now like I say Jake is off, because they're thinking, Ethiopia is the is the way, and no, Jerusalem. All right. That's where we will get rest. He said till he laid the rest. Our rest, all right, is in Jerusalem. You see? And let's get that. He said talking about rest. That rest is gonna come, all right, in Jerusalem. All right. When you go to Second Esdras 8 and 54. I'll start at 52. All right. Well, I started 51. It says, but understand thou for thyself and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. Yeah, because, we're not here, all right, for our people that don't believe, that don't, that want to stay here, that, you know, think this society is the end all be all. No, we're not here for them, you know. We're here for the like minded. All right, that's who's Yahweh Shai is coming together to take back home, you know. Jake think this is a lot of Israelites think this is their home. So we're not concerned with them, you know? And the scripture tells us not to be. It said, for unto you, all right, is paradise open, which is the elect, edges of the elect, whoever he is today, back in his lot. It said the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteous is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yeah, perfect goodness and wisdom. You see that? Because Jake was complaining about, barely making it, barely having enough food on the table. Well, that's not going to be, the circumstances, in the kingdom, because you got Jakes that's in middle class and upper middle class and Jakes that's wealthy, but we talking about the whole nation being straight, you know. That's another thing of the East. All right, we had to care, for the nation, In the West, it's all about, individualism, So you will see, people doing good on social media, or, taking these, these, suburban neighborhoods and living, that middle class, upper middle class life. All right, and they look at it like, well, I'm good, you see. But see, in the East, it was about the nation being good. When Solomon was king, all right, what did it talk about? How silver was as stones in Israel, which showing you how good the economy was. All right, they talk about how every man, sat under his own fig tree, which means what? He has substance. Every man sat under their fig tree. When everybody has substance, man. You see, so plenteous, all right, is coming back to our nation, and their rest is allowed, because here is no rest, man. It's a constant, hustle and bustle, man. Whether you're physically, have to work a lot of hours, or you just have, this society where, especially as the Israelite man, where you have these women that, go against the grain. You see, they're manipulative. You always gotta try to figure out, what the hell she up to all the time, and you know, in some cases worse than others. Some brothers, every case ain't exactly the same, but at the end of the day, it's chaos, man. Because why, we're in the land of confusion, so it's just chaos. So you never really get the rest, man. You always, like I say, your mind racing, your body racing. You see, and as an Israelite man, I say this life is horrible, man. A lot of Jakes, is miserable, man. The woman is bitter, because the mind frame that was put on her, all right, the mind frame that was put on the woman, mainly with that feminist movement, has destroyed their women nature. You see, now they combative, now they're masculine. You see, now they have this independent mind frame, but now they miserable. You see, now they bitter and angry. And the Israelite man is just defeated, you know, miserable as hell, you see, unappreciated. So what we see now is what, man? The way of the serpent, the way of the West didn't work. All right, it was a failure. That's what that's what the Most High is showing in the earth, that this way that our people coveted after is a failure, man. You know, it failed horribly. Either Jake is a degenerate, the alphabet, vibration is heavy amongst the West is destroyed. All right, the tribes, all right, spiritually, physically, mentally, psychologically, in every way. And um, it says the root of evil, all right, because who's the root of evil? Esau, Edom, is sealed up from you because he will be put out of power and he won't have that influence because he's the number one influence of the mindset that our people have that's contrary to Yahweh Shema Shai. We're going to get that, all right? And it says, weakness and the mouth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. You see that? Why? Because we're going into immortality. Ain't no more getting old, breaking bodies breaking down, and your memory, you losing your memory and all. No, all right. We finna be upgraded, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, you know. And it says sorrows are past, and it says, and in the end, it showed the treasure of immortality, man. So we got a, a upgrade we can't even fathom, man. The bodies we gonna get, the spiritual powers, the wisdom, the frequency we gonna be on, man. It's a whole nother level, man. You see? Now, let's go here. When you go to Second Corinthians, no, First Corinthians. All right, First Corinthians 12 and 2. It says, ye know that ye were Gentiles, all right, speaking to Israelites, that was Hellenized, carried away into these dumb idols, even as you were led, you see? And these idols come with a lifestyle, you know? And these lifestyles have, proven to be horrible for our people, man, all right? Jay got all these underlying health conditions, and it comes from what? Their diet, which their diet the is from the what? The West. Especially the standard American diet, is just chemicals, you see, and mystery meat, you know. And now, ladies, man, you through. You see, no back teeth. You see, you done. It has destroyed us, man. You know. So we was carried away to these type of lifestyles, man. You know, it happened back then during the Maccabees, and this time our people was brought over here, and then going back to the Spanish and the Portuguese, they came over here and did what, man? They carried, all right, Northern Kingdom, all right, into these lifestyles. They forced these lifestyles on the Northern Kingdom, man. These heavy pork diets. You see, where did they come from, man? All right. These damn Greeks and these modern day Greeks, these Edomites, man. You know? So we was carried away to these lifestyles, man. But now Jake is saying the West ain't it, man. Even on Elias Woman had that saying, you stuck in the West and don't know what's best, man. All right? Yeah, the culture of the West is very backwards, and it's very counterproductive, man. You know? And when you try to apply it, all right, and pass that down, all right, as a way to live as a culture, man, your culture, your nation, all right, it just dwindles away, man. You see? So when you go to let's get that account. All right, when you go to Second Maccabees, all right, because it was always Esau, Edom, that put an emphasis on us being detached from their standard and following after their way. This is Second Maccabees 6 and 1. It said, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High. You see that? Esau, Edom was hell bent on getting us, to separate from their standard, all right, which ultimately separate us from our power and to follow after their ways, man. You see, it says, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem. Now, they polluted the actual temple, but now we're the temple, and Esau, Edom is hell bent on polluting our temple, us, man. Especially with these things he's doing now, man. All right, with the potion, You know, it's gonna lead to the MOB. That's the ultimate pollution of the temple, man. You know, but these lifestyles and these mindsets is how he polluted, you know, the temple in this time. It says, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in Gerizim, the Jupiter, the defender of strangers. All right, and you can really equate that to Jesus Christ, man. All right, because that Jesus character, he's a defender of everybody. He's a defender of wickedness. He's a defender of the heathens. You know, he loves everything. You know, the same vibration. It said the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and revelings by the Gentiles. Yeah, these parties, wilding out, you know, parties, and you know, that's the way the heathen just to be wilding out all the time, man. You know, where it's adultery heavy, you know, all type of lewd, you know, sexual acts, you know, these different, you know, off lust, you know, that you develop here. You see, that's a lifestyle that we was carried away to, man. You know, over here in the West, man. You see, because we did have festivals and you know Jake drunk and dance, you know, but we did it in a much all right orderly way, man. You know, and it says for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. All right. So it said, verse 6, it said, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So what was they calling themselves? Greeks. That's why you got Galatians 3 and 28. There's neither Jew nor Greek. All right. That wasn't opening up the covenant to all heathen nations. No. That was speaking of the descendants of these Israelites, all right, that had to go through this Greek oppression where they couldn't even call themselves Jews. So what were they calling themselves, man? You know, it wasn't even lawful to be called a Jew, man. Keep the Sabbath days, ancient feasts. You see? All right. And it says, and in the day of the king's birth every month, all right, going back to what? Their birthday, showing you how that's off. All right. It says, in the day of the king's birth every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go into procession, these parades, you know, in the streets, you know, to Bacchus carrying ivory. Yeah, and Bacchus, you know, is like the Roman, you know, the Romans called the Dionysus, you know, which is what the god of partying, you know, wine, you know, rioting, you know, pleasure. You see, and there's the ways of the east, like the ways of the west. See, the ways of the west, you know, are based, you know, upon pleasure. Decision making is based upon pleasure. You know, not what's best for the nation, not what's best for the earth. No, it's about pleasure. The final decision before you act is based on pleasure here, man. But that's why, you know, in these times we have repented, you know, and coming back to the ways of our forefathers, all right, which is the best, man. All right, the East is the best, man. All right, so this is our end here, and this is why Yahweh Shai, because remember, this is hundreds of years before Yahweh Shai, what we read going on in the Maccabees. So when he comes on the scene, what is his main message? This is Mark 1 and 15 is saying, the time is fulfilled and the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Repent ye and believe the gospel, man. All right, which means what? Abort those lifestyles, come back to the standard through faith in me. That's what Yahweh Shai was saying. Because the kingdom is at hand. Because who? The Yahweh Shema Shai is coming, Yahweh Shai is coming to gather, all right, those that have repented and stayed faithful, man. You know, to gather them into what? That kingdom, to take us back east, to take us back home, man. You know? So I just want to bring that out, Lord will. It was edifying. All right. Once again, give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. The honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great example to us younger brothers. And peace and blessings salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.